Let's talk about Mumbai. Well, of course, we have to start by talking about them. 5 trophies already, going for a hat-trick this time. Absolute favorites. And Harsha has said that the only team that can get in Mumbai's way is Mumbai themselves. This primarily is for 2 reasons. One, of course, a super settled 11. And 2, that so many of the players, they almost have the Reliance way of doing business. Like they bet long-term. Right? So they bet long-term on a lot of young players and they've come through. I mean, just count them. Jasprit, Bumrah, the Pandya brothers, Ishan Kishan, Surya Kumar Yadav. These are all long-term Indian unknown bets that they have just stuck with. And that's something that other teams don't do. Harsha, do you agree with that?
It is, except for one name, because I don't know if you saw Joy, but he just gulped and swallowed all the...
Surya, when I said Surya, yeah. Kolkata did Surya, that's right, of course.
Kolkata loves all their players that they develop and give to other teams. Now, but you're saying, I add to that Rahul Chahar as well, who's now come on. Every one of them, every single player is an international now. So it's almost like a multi-starrer. Krunal Pandya has just played in ODIs and he's got a big score. Rahul Chahar has just played in T20s. Ishan Kishan has gone and played an international like he was playing against you and me in the hall. Surya Kumar Yadav has played like he's belonged. Quinton de Kock not available for the first game, so they might try out someone like a Chris Lane or maybe even go with Nisham as an opening batsman and left-hander in the top order. So they've got options there. And what I like about Mumbai this year is that given that they're playing 9 games and they didn't know they were playing 9 games in Chennai and Delhi before the auction, that's how it just turned out. They've got Piyush Chawla. Joy, look away. He played for that other side once in a final. They've got Piyush Chawla, they've got Jayant Yadav, they've got Anukul Roy to add to Krunal Pandya and Rahul Chahar and Hardik Pandya, who becomes a fast off-break bowler. And Kyron Pollard, who's been taking wickets. So I think they've actually got a team that can play on those slowish tracks. So yeah, it's full of internationals. Sometimes though, when you have a multi-star cast, each person thinks, yeah.
If you just look at their schedule real quick, of course the Chennai games are there, and there's the advantage of change of pace is probably more in Chennai than anywhere else, and especially the slower bowlers.
No, absolutely. As Harsha was saying, I mean, Piyush Chawla is a huge pickup, the 3rd most successful bowler in IPL history. And they did it even before they knew they were going to play, 5 games in Chennai. And 4 in Delhi, where you don't, in Delhi also could be very useful. Amit Mishra, all these years in Delhi, he's really thrived on that wicket. And that wicket will suit Piyush Chawla as well. So I think they have it. And what I like about what Mumbai has done is also, they've backed players long-term. They've also made them feel secure. So when Rahul Chahar did well for them, they released Mayank Markandeya. They felt that, okay, Rahul doesn't need to look over his shoulder and find somebody out there. And now Rahul has the confidence that even Piyush comes in. Most cases, if Piyush comes in, Piyush will be bowling along with Rahul, not as substituting for Rahul. I think Rahul's already made his case to be that first bowler at this point in time. And I think they've done a wonderful job of what we call calmness. That means not reacting to 1 match, 2 match. Exactly what we accuse RCB perhaps of doing very often, which is, reacting very immediately to circumstances. 1 match, 2 match, okay, Shivam Dube, you can't play out here. Or, okay, let's move this guy out this position. That's what Mumbai doesn't do. They just stay calm. Rohit is calm, Shane Bond is calm, Zahir is calm, Mahila is calm. They're all very calm guys and they'll sort it. So the only thing that I think is against them is that they've been relatively injury-free over the years. Over the last couple of years, they've been relatively injury-free. That's helped a lot. And the second is that, given the format, if our finals were like the NBA or like baseball and a 6-game series, you'd say Mumbai would beat anyone 95 times out of 100. When it's a 1-match game, those odds could be 65-35, it could be 60-40, but it's not going to be 90-10. On 1 match, anything can happen. And I think that's the only thing that, Mumbai will look at and say that, okay, on 1 final, if we reach the finals, anything could happen.
Yeah, that's a they do final. Yeah, the finals are at this stage.
But it seems to be a popular consensus, right, Harsha, that they're just going to take 1 spot in the final. They're a bit like what you would say about CSK like 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, but nobody's done 3 in a row. As I said in my preview blog, there's some mystique about 3 in a row, whether it's I mean, the examples I gave there, and Joy can add to those, were Real winning 3, Australia winning 3, the Bulls winning 3. So when you win 3, it's almost part of folklore. Even Chennai didn't win 3. Chennai made a lot of finals but won 2. I think they won what? They won 10, 11 and then had to wait till 18 to win another one. So winning 3, I think that should be their incentive, their focus, so that they don't think yaar kuch bhi hum to qualify kar hi jayenge.
Yeah. And of course, the only thing going against them is perhaps that the one thing going for them is that they're the only team who have a positive win-loss record in 3 of the 4 venues that they're playing in. But Delhi has been their Achilles heel. They've only won 4 in Delhi and lost 7 there. True to form, the Mumbai-Delhi problem. Mumbai just doesn't like going to Delhi. Delhi doesn't like Mumbai. It just keeps happening. And that was the final last year. I love that little narrative that gets built over there. But there you go. That's a
Mumbai, I thought Mumbai is aspirational for Delhi Walas, especially those in the media and whatever industry, media, sports.
Please, there is a gentleman who is in NCR sitting right now in front of his.
No, I'm not talking about him. No, I'm not talking about me.
Sir, but I've never told you, I was born in this city. So my Janam Bhumi had to become my Karam Bhumi. I was born in Breach Candy Hospital, sir. You can see from your window. I was born over there. They still have my picture. They still have my picture there. I stole 8 diapers and ran away, so they still have my picture. Let's talk about our second team. Of course, we say Mumbai. I mean, just advantage for them. The one thing that
one little thing about Mumbai though, which is they won 3 in a row with very little from Rohit Sharma. He does well in the finals on a big day with very little from Rohit Sharma. I mean, this is Rohit Sharma we are talking about. You talk white ball cricket, you talk Rohit Sharma. But somehow in the IPL, I don't know. And if he opens with Chris Lynn in the first game, you'll find that the spinners might well bowl the first 6 overs, because it was a spin to Chris Lynn that released Sunil Narine at KKR. Ever since Chris Lynn left, Sunil Narine's batting has also left. But I'm looking forward to seeing Rohit have a big year. Can you imagine in this team if Rohit has a 500 plus season? Yeah. Then what do you do?
And he hasn't had one. He's had a few 300s, 400. He's had a 280. I mean, they still win, right? So the flip side of it is you look that they are not overtly dependent on one international legend. They just got everyone standing up in every game.
Pollard and Pandya, last year, Pollard and Pandya, largely because of them, they scored at an average of 2 per over more than any other team in the death overs. They just hit more boundaries than anybody else. They were hitting boundaries for fun. Somebody or the other was hitting boundaries. And so there was a feeling, look, let's stay alive till the 15th over and we'll just boss the last 5 anyway. So that's the big strength for them, the end overs.
The 5, 6, 7. We talk about their 5, 6, 7 winning them games. It's the 2 Pandya brothers and Pollard, of course, coming in whichever order that they come.